Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This time I want to share my experience with you speaking French in the south of France, or to be more precise, in the Provence. Los geht's! My name is Dustin. I'm an IT project manager from Germany, and on this channel we create content that helps us to be more productive, to learn new things, especially languages, and to live a happier and more fulfilling life. I'm in France on vacation and currently I'm visiting Marseille. I want to talk with you about motivation and how to not get demotivated if stuff is not working as expected. I've had a few conversations in French since I'm visiting the country, and some went better than others. And that even after over 1,000 hours of French practice. So let me share my experience, learnings, and some pictures with you. So let's walk a bit through the conversations I've had so far. So the first longer one had been with our Airbnb host in the Provence, next to Aix-en-Provence, and we've talked about the weather and stuff that's going on around that place, sights to see and to visit, and all those kind of things. I could understand 100% and I could also reply to everything, but sometimes I had some issues to find the right words. To find them real quick. And I've also had some slight interference with Italian, so the Italian words would come first even before I would find the French ones. Then we've had a longer conversation with the guys from the national park who told us that we were not allowed to go up there, even though that we hiked up for 2.5 hours. But apparently there were some fire warnings because it was very dry season already. They weren't angry or anything, and it turned out that it had been the first day this year of those fire warnings actually. So, and I could understand like everything, and it was a really great feeling. Also all the info signs and texts and stuff, and all the brochures I could understand fairly easy, and this has also been a great feeling. And the end of the story was that we need to take 2 different buses to get back to our car because we weren't allowed to go back. And but despite that, it had been a real adventure and it was really nice. Then of course all the everyday shop conversations, they normally work out fairly well, except if there's some stuff that's really unexpected or where you have a missing context. For example, when we were in the grocery store, an older lady approached me and she was talking some stuff and I didn't get that really, even though she was kind of talking clearly, but I didn't have the context and it was hard to get. And this is an issue, so all the small talk topics, and there's still quite a lot of friction for me, and I would really like to be able to just understand what's going on without any friction. But I guess this is really a high level of the language to be achieved there. And I've had another conversation at a wine shop where I tried to express or to explain my favorite flavor of wine, and that didn't work out at all. So I tried to say, hey, I like it if it's a little bit buttery from the taste and all those kind of things, and she just wouldn't get it. So I guess I need to learn a bit more about that domain, about that specific topic actually, probably build a language island about that. Talking about shop conversations, I've also been to a French bookshop and I've got a book. This one here, so I hope you can see it. It's from Michel Houellebecq, and it's Les Particules Élémentaires, and it's quite controversial, but I'm looking forward to reading it. The author has published many bestsellers and also won several prizes, and that's why I want to give it a try. It's very controversial, but it should be a great book, so I will read it, and it's the first real book that I read outside of LingQ, and I've also found the audiobook already, and I will read it and then afterwards directly listen to the parts that I've read. I've had a conversation for the check-in in Marseille with our second host, and I could really understand 100%. It was really nice feeling. Again, had some interference with Italian, so for example with clé and chiave. So sometimes the Italian words come faster than the French ones by now. Then I've had some conversation with a city guide because we did a guided tour starting from the old harbor, the Vieux Port, and then along the neighborhoods there. It was a very informative and joyful tour, and we needed to solve some riddles along the way, and we got the information in French and English, so I took French of course, and I've learned quite some new words and some wordplays. They were quite fascinating to me. The host could speak fluent German as well, and since my girlfriend doesn't speak French fluently, we talk most of the time in German, but also in between some French. And he also told me that he was impressed by my French, and this definitely gives me some more motivation to keep going and to get to a better level even. I know that there's still a lot of stuff to learn, to be honest. Marseille has lots of really nice street art along the neighborhoods, and there's lots of stuff to see. And the city is actually really, really old. So I think 2,400 years or something. That's when they started with the harbor there, and yeah, that's pretty crazy. But despite that fact, the oldest building in the city is just 500 years old, because all the other stuff has been destroyed and rebuilt all the time. And also, especially during the Second World War, the Nazis destroyed a lot of the city, many buildings, and yeah, they completely destroyed complete neighborhoods. A funny story though is that there was one building left which is now the oldest building of the city, about 500 years old, and they actually, when it stands there completely solitary, they actually moved it. So they moved it by 90 degrees, which is completely crazy if you think about that. So they lifted it up, put it on rails, and turned it by 90 degrees, as mentioned, to fit it better into the new planned streets. And this is completely crazy because that building was, I don't know, over 600 tons heavy, or is over 600 tons heavy. It's still there today, and yeah, completely crazy. So I will also show you some pictures that you can imagine that. And I will also put a link to a site about the story into the description, of course. If you should be in Marseille at some point, I can definitely highly recommend the guided city tour that we did, and I will also put the link for that into the description of this video, of course. So what did I learn now? First of all, the French language can be really tough. The thing is that during my italki sessions, I talked about many topics, also complex topics about politics, about controversial subjects or controversial topics, but sometimes the everyday speech and the regular expressions that you use to do some normal stuff, I don't know, because I learned French in a pretty artificial way from home. Of course, I got the knowledge and I could in theory build up the sentences I need, but if you want to do that in real life conversation, this takes way too long. You just need to know it and then to be able to react instantaneously. On the other hand, I can understand almost everything, so my listening comprehension is fairly good. I guess all that listening to audio files, to text, to and watching YouTube videos and all those kind of things helped me really with that. Also, it's a great feeling to be able to communicate in French and to be able to read everything that's around you. So what do I want to say now with this video? First of all, don't let yourself being demotivated if stuff is not working as expected. If you can't understand everything, or if you don't find the right words instantaneously, even though you have spent lots of time with the language. I mean, look at me. I have spent over 1,000 hours with French, and I would say, yeah, I can speak French, but still, there are still many things to learn, and to get to a level, to a native-like level, that takes a lot of time. Then, of course, it's a journey. And if you are learning a language most of the time from home, then in an artificial environment, then there will be phrases and words of regular everyday speech missing. French is a very complex language, and there are a lot of abbreviations and slang, and it's not as melodic, for example, as Italian. Italian is a language that can be spoken really fast. That's a different topic. But it's very melodic, so you can really hear the words that they are saying. French can be quite hard to get. Sometimes by now I have better time to understand Italian even than French. And that's after I have spent way more time with the French language. Then there are no excuses or shortcuts. To get into a language, you just need to assimilate it, to let it sink in. if you want to speak your target language, make sure that you tell the people that you are learning the language right now. This will completely change how the people will interact with you. They will in most cases stay in your target language instead of switching to English or another language that you both speak. If they are switching to English or another language that you both speak, they're not saying, hey, your French is shit and I want to speak English. No, what you should think about is they are saying this way, I want to facilitate the communication, I want to make it easier for you, and I'm helping you here. So it's kind of a nice thing that they do. But if you tell them, hey, I'm learning the language, so it's not just about communicating really fast, but also about learning stuff, then they will notice really quick and they will adapt. So yeah, keep that in mind. I don't know if you like this new format of video, kind of a bit vlog style-ish, just let me know in the comments and I will produce more of that. Also, make sure to leave me a like and a subscription to the channel, and to not miss anything going forward, click on the notification bell. Thank you very much for watching and see you the next time.